Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking all about the key quests. If you like the video, please consider subscribing. Also, links to my Discord and Twitch down below. I'm going to start streaming January 7th. Alright, so obviously you need to go to Ginger Island, come over to the Walnut Room. Once you enter, you can walk over. We talked about the rewards you can get from these quests last week, video right here. But as for this week, we're going to be doing this machine over here. Every week you'll get 2 different options of which quests you can do, and you'll have a set time period of how long you have to do them, and the key gems that you'll get as a reward. There's a wide variety of different quests that we have to do. Some are a whole lot easier, so let's just get right into it. The first one, let's play a game. This one requires you to get 50,000 points in Junimo Kart Endless mode. You just go to Junimo Kart. By this time it should be unlocked, and we need to beat Lewis's score. Now, this one, once you've gotten a handle on the game, is pretty easy. It'll just take some practice. If you're getting a ton of the coins from every level, getting all 3 fruit, then you should be averaging about 15,000 points a level. Unfortunately, if you miss a fruit, that goes down by 6,000, so you really want to prioritize that. So if you're getting about 15,000 points level by the end of the 3rd one, you should have about 45,000 points, and from there you just need to rack up the last 5,000 in the 4th level. Next up, we have the 4 precious stones. You have to get 4 prismatic shards in 28 days for 40 key gems. It is worth noting though that unlike other goals on this list, you don't have to get the 4 prismatic shards during this quest. What I suggest is just get down into the skull caverns and mine away. Next up is Key's Hungry Challenge. This one requires you to get to level 100 of the skull caverns without eating anything, but I'm going to bundle this up with a couple others, namely Danger in the Deep. This one, like the elevator has gone out and you just need to get to the bottom with harder mines, and Skull Cavern Invasion, which is just harder skull caverns. The easiest way to do this is to get crystallariums. Now what you're going to want to do is put jades in the crystallariums. A jade should take 2 days, so you can just sleep, and there you go, jade will be ready. The trick I'm using won't apply on Saturday, it applies on Sundays. But on Sundays, what you want to do is go to the desert trader, trade your jade for staircases. Now, if you have a ton of staircases and you just get a ton of crystallarium, a ton of jade, you can use this to descend down to level 100 of these mines, or level 120 of the regular mines really fast. Next up is Key's Cuisine. This one requires you to ship 100,000 gold worth of freshly cooked items. Now, this I used to do in a completely terrible way. It would take weeks of preparing, and it was awful. You just had to be ready for it. But a great way to be able to do this is just buy 669 coffee, and then cook 223 fresh triple shot espressos out of it. Now, if we go to the coffee page, we can see right here it will cost 300 gold for each coffee at the saloon. And if we do the math, that's going to be 669 times 300. You're going to get 200,700 gold. That's going to be the cost, but keep in mind you're going to be getting 100,000 of that back. So, you know, if it's worth it to you, then go for it. Next up is Key's Kindness. Now this one requires you to give 50 loved gifts in 1 week. Normally this would seem pretty impossible. You'd have to find, like 25 different people and have already known what their loved gifts are and have 2 of them ready on hand. However, there's a really easy way to be able to do this. And this is really helpful for making just friends in general. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get a coop full of rabbits. This is because rabbits' feet are loved by everyone, except for Penny who hates them. But if you just hand everyone, except for Penny, rabbits' feet, then you can become good friends, and for this challenge, it's perfect. Next up, we have the Extended Family. Now, this one requires you to basically catch all the legendary fish again. They'll be there regardless of season or weather. They'll just be back in their spots and they'll be named different, but it's essentially the same thing. For this, you're just going to want to be level 10. You're going to want to have fishing buff upgrade food and, you know, a bobber, whether that's the trap bobber or the cork bobber. Next up, we have Key's Prismatic Grange. Now this requires you to find 100 of each of these different colored items. You can, of course, just grab whatever you have on hand, crops or whatever, but if you don't want to do that, you can, for instance, buy spaghettis from the saloon, get copper ore from the blacksmith. At this point, you probably have stacks of it. You also probably have stacks of sap somewhere and fiber, so you should be fine on those accounts. Joja Colas are a great way to get blue. I always use blueberries. And then for purple, this place recommends bug meat. I would say Void Essence. It's super easy to come by and you can always buy an extra few from Krobus. Next up is the key crop. You have to ship 500 key fruit, which grow from key beans. You find those by like mining and chopping down trees. Now normally it takes 4 days to grow, which means normally you'd be able to harvest 6 times. However, if you use Deluxe Speed Grow, you'll be able to harvest a total of 9 times, which greatly increases the amount of key beans you can grow. And of course, you're just going to want to be growing the key beans into key fruit and putting them into seed makers and just repeating that. Anyway, that's all for this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope you have a fantastic day.